Well, at least I can see you guys and read the what you guys are saying. Um, let's see if I can read that. Uh, okay, so I'm trying to see if I can get this thing to work. I don't know if it's working or not. Anyway, let me experiment. We'll see what happens. Um, I guess everybody left. Okay, so now what I'm gonna do is hollow this out. Now the tenon on this will be taken off eventually, so I know that, and that'll be okay. I'm not worried about that. I got the curvature of what I want on this piece, and now what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna work on taking this out. Now, a lot of people say you should be using a different kind of tool that I use. Why? So my question to you guys, I'm going to give you a poll. Which one do you guys usually use, your turners? Do you like to use this? Or do you like to use this? The standard bolt gouge or this? Which do you prefer? So, let's see what happens here. You see that? Starting to squeak a little bit. I think my tools are starting to get a little dull. Let's see. No, that was pretty easy for a piece of oak. Okay, so You see how this is right here, right? It's a slow transition, but now right in here, there's a little bit of a groove. This is the reason why I always leave it thicker, because you're going to have an issue with this. The idea is to come back, and not necessarily with this one, with the other one, and clean it up. But you can see, nice slow transition, right? That's exactly what I wanted. Now, the key is, I have a calipers that I'm going to use to see how thick this is. And it looks like it's about right about here, but I guess I could do it this way. Inch and an eighth, so that'd be inch and an eighth right there. So it's right about here. You could probably go down another eighth before you're pushing it. The idea is you don't want to go through, you know. So see, that was so easy to do. I made it look like it's nothing. Oops, no, that's not good. Okay, so what I'm gonna do here now, use my calipers. I actually put I had to put batteries in these things. Dude, all of my stuff that had batteries in it, it's like, okay. Now comes the fun part. Okay, so now that's zeroed out, right? Zeroed out, right? Okay, so what we do here is I'm gonna go. Okay, so thickness here is 17, 18. For the edge. Wait a minute. 18.3. So we go 19, 20, 25. Okay, so right there is 21. So I could actually take that much more out. Right there, it's right there. There's 19.3. So 19.3 is about. That's about how small that is. All right. So I'm not going to go any more with that. I'm going to pull it. And I think I'm just going to leave. I'm just going to work on the edges a little bit. So now I'm going to use my other ones here. Now, this is when you start getting picky on your stuff. You got to take a look at it and go, okay, how does it look? Now, I've got side views this way, so you guys can't see it as good as I can this way. But right in here, you got to transition one piece of wood to another piece of wood. So sometimes it can throw you off the way it looks. Oh, you got to read around there. No, you got to take that. No, that's fine. So what I'm looking at here is I especially up in here, I can see there's bumps, but there's very little. Right here is a bump. I mean, I don't know if you guys see it. Right in here, so the rings. So you do a lot of that with sanding, but the best thing to do is just take this and just kind of scrape it out a little bit. Now, these things have different widths on the carving part, so you don't want to be like here like this because it twists. It's like my golf game. I suck on it. That's what I do. So now, I'm gingerly doing this, and I think I'm at like 1,000 RPM or something, but I'm not putting a lot of pressure on it. So right there's a bump, but I could probably get that out with the sander, so I'm not worried about that. Right here, much better. So that's where, okay, now, this is where you get your sanding, I've got, this is 120 I'm using. And so, thanks, Len. So now, and I should be wearing a mask, and some people will tell me, I just wanted to see. Now, when I do the rough sanding, this middle is going to pain. I don't know why. Me in the ring, I gotta figure out a way to do it differently. But now, when you're doing end grains, all right, you're gonna see this right here, all right. And I don't know if you guys can see that or not. But anyway, the end grains have a tendency to have an issue with the rough sticking out. It just means more sanding and different techniques. This in here, really smooth. Now, how do you prevent end grains? And somebody asked me that once. You do this. So, you get a regular 2x4, you got a regular, whether it's 2x4 or 1x4 or whatever. This is how you prevent end grains. These cuts right here, basically you got the side of one board and the side of another board. The end grains are these parts where you put the glue in it. And that's normally the way the guys do it. Like this is just standard. And so I use these to show people how you do things. It broke. I broke. So it's kind of like this is a showpiece how they usually put things together, right? But I do things two other ways too besides this. The number one issue you're going to have when you do stuff like this is that you're not going to see a lot of the grain because it's up on top, it's not on the side. Most wood doesn't have a lot of grain on the wood side. See, it doesn't show a lot. Look at the front. You see the front? It makes a big difference. It makes a big difference when you're making a nice project. So, you kind of have to think about it like this, okay? If you get a piece of wood like this, and you cut it up this way like they have it, and you're only seeing this part. So you're not seeing the whole thing, right? You're not seeing this end. What you could do, now I've done it this way before too, which is a pain, but you could, this is 3/4 inch thick, all right? So you could get from the lumberyard 1 inch. And so you cut 1 inch in. So in other words, you take it on a table saw, you measure this, get on your jig, you do this at 1 inch, and so that you're doing the same size, see? So that piece will show that way. So you're not really changing, hitting the end grains. What you're doing is you're changing the way it's put together. Now, here's the key, and I've done this before. When you do it that way, it just means a lot more cutting because, as you saw, there's narrow pieces. Most of the guys do stuff that's thicker, wider. As you go down, you start from the bottom up, you start small, or you have a bottom to it, you start thicker, and then you work up to the top where it's thinner, right? So this is where I tell people you need to take and basically practice on what you're doing and figure out how you're going to do your wood. Now, if you're going to do it that way, I wouldn't spend a lot of money on wood because you're losing the grain unless it shows up. So when you go, next time you go to a wood store, if you're going to do it that way, look on the side grains because that's the one thing that everybody misses all the time. See, when you're doing stuff like this, all right, you don't worry about it, end grains as much. You do and you don't. This I did with the pith. So that's another thing that people tell you that, oh, you're not supposed to go with the pith. Well, I don't agree with that. Because what happens is, not all the times they're split. Now, for some reason, the top split a little bit. But turned out great. Although my sizing it could have been better, but, it all went pretty good. I sealed it, and I'm probably going to seal again. I don't know if I'm going to sell this or not. I don't know if people want that. I don't know what kind of wood this is, actually. I was going to take and put a knob on here, like a drawer knob or something, make it look a bit different, but I don't know if that'll work. I kind of, anyway, these are fun to make too. Simple, and I'll go through one time, I'll show you how to make a box. I'm trying to find a piece of wood that works, that's not split. Okay, so, anyway, that's kind of the learning curve with this is, see, you can go through and sand this stuff like this. It is still rough, but there's always tools. That's the other thing, you gotta find tools. Now, the only downfall about this one is because that hole was offset. I have to cut this off. Normally, I turn it around like this, and I'll take and cut this off, or I'll shave this off to make it work. But I'm going to have to cut this off, and I don't know how I'm going to do that. No, I have to get one of those. I have to get a bracket that goes on here that expands more, so I can do that. So that's kind of a bummer on this one, but anyway, it's kind of my screw up. Unless I make a jig where I can put it like that. I don't know. Anyway, yeah, my chuck does not go up far enough. So 9 times out of 10, you'll find me making a mortise instead of a tenon because it's a lot easier to deal with. Excuse me, the tens, when I go to take them off, you have to be really careful when you go to cut them off. And plus, you leave a dot in there. A dot. Although it's thin enough. I wonder how thin this is right now. Okay, so what do we got? Oh, come on. There we go. There it goes. These stupid things sometimes are a pain in the butt. Oh. That's 9/8, 9/9. We got 9 here, 9/8, 9/8, gradual, 9/8, 9/9. See, I'm trying to get it to where, okay, so that's 9/1, right? 9/9. Right here, the thickest part is 11. See, that's the hardest part. If you're trying to make it the same shape, right in here sometimes I get a little bit thicker. A little bit thicker. Oh well. Okay, so that's today's lesson. I might come on later on. I have to find some more wood to carve up. And I might be working on my train set. Anyway, for people that are, please subscribe. I'm looking for subscribers. Leave me a message. Let me know what you think of this crazy guy's turning. I'm trying to get better at stuff. I know. I'm going to be doing some crafting with you guys, Lynn. Hopefully, I'm going to do some scroll saw work coming up. And I want to make some tops for these. So I'm going to make different tops. But the idea here is, okay, so I'm going to get fused glass top for this. Not for this one, but for a different one I'm going to turn. And so I want to take and I'm going to make the bottom part to it so that it'll fit in there. Because the glass, obviously glass won't fit. So anyway, let me know what you think. And if you're a turner and you're watching me, feel free to criticize. Windy City Turners is on there. That's the club I'm in. And so is Fox Valley Woodworkers Club. If you're a local person, come join it. They're a great bunch of guys. I have a good time with them. I'm always bugging them, especially about stuff I don't know. Anyway, let you guys go and enjoy the rest of the day. God bless. Have a great week. And then look forward to posting more videos later.